Now let's switch and move to what's coming in 2019. As always, this represents our core intentions for the product, but we are able to accommodate the roadmap and the actual execution based on your feedback and the needs that you um, fit to us. So we have reviewed this in a couple of past sessions. This is our three main areas of innovation and focus for the product. We are building capabilities that directly impact the way that you engage into your teaching and learning strategies. For organizations, this is more related to training and development strategies. We are building and we keep supporting integrations and the notion of a learning environment and not just an LMS, and we keep improving our SaaS experience and delivery model. These are the three main areas of innovation that we follow. Uh, just to provide some context of the things that we are going to talk about today, this is the different stages that we have as part of our product development process. In development means that this is something that we are actively working on from the development team. This is something that they're calling and that we have a target delivery date for it. In design means that this is still under the specification part and building the prototypes around how it will work. And next step for this will be to pass it to development. And then in research means that we are still gathering feedback and gathering requirements from our customer base and engaging into workshops and other discovery processes as part of our intentions for the product. With that said, we also have a batch here that indicates some of the things that are actually coming for release 3.6, which is happening in June for Sandbox and in July for production environments. Let's start now with capabilities that impact teaching and learning. And in this area, we have many new features and improvements. Let's start with what's coming from core. And here we have a new set of functionality related to the dashboard. Some of you know that the dashboard is part of the core user experience, and this is available for you no matter what theme are you using. If you are using Boost or Snap, this is something that you will have access to. They have added a lot of new functionality in terms of how you organize and visualize your content and courses in the dashboard view. Specifically, now you have the ability to sort your courses, to mark courses as favorite or start those courses, to hide and display courses as you need. This also comes with new blocks that are available for you to add to this dashboard view in the customization options. And note about this, as you may already aware of, the starting courses are actually something that we have added in the past for Snap. So we have had these for many years. In this regard, Core is actually catching up with this functionality. And for that, we have decided to maintain consistency in the implementation. So now, if you mark a course as a favorite, no matter where you mark that, you will have the option to visualize that and you will have consistency in that. So if you mark a course as favorite in Snap, it will also show as favorite in Boost, and the other way around works too. If you mark a course as favorite in Boost, you will still see the course as favorite in Snap. So consistency in terms of the implementation, and no matter what theme or what user experience are you using for your courses, you will have the same results in terms of marking a course as favorite. We have added a new PLD event. This comes from the OpenLMS community, and again, thank you very much for all of you that contributed to that specification. With this new event, you can now select to trigger a rule based on the course start date. This is relative to that date. You no longer need to be matching a specific date in the calendar. This is all relative to the course start date, and if you change that, it will also update the execution of those rules. There are a lot of nice use cases for this. Let's see how the integration works first. It's pretty simple. You select the specific event that you want to create, and then you will have the option to configure how many days after or before the course start date you want to trigger your rule. This is something that our OpenLMS community members have expressed in some cool use cases that they have expressed. For example, to set up reminders and notifications after a couple of days of the course has started, then you can notify your users about new content or about or reminding them to log in into the course. You can also unlock content based on the progress that your course has and all relative to the course start date. And if you want to use this for consistency across many courses, you can use this to create course templates. As it will be all relative to the course start date, this means that whenever you back up this course and then you use that in the future, the rules will still apply and the rules won't need any tweaking or change in order for them to work. So a lot of flexibility there in terms of the user experiences and personalization options that you can create here with PLD. There are new elements in the message functionality. Some of them include the ability to create group messaging. This is a configuration option that you have when you are creating a group in a course. You can also mark conversations as favorite or start those conversations. You now have the ability to select via global settings if you want your users to contact all the rest of the users in the platform or be limited to only those users that are enrolled in the same course. And there is an overall new interface or a new look and feel on the messaging part. This is a very important point for us to cover here because there are elements that we wanted to make sure that are clear in terms of how we implemented this in Snap. So you see here that on the right side of the interface, now you have access to this chat bar. It is similar to what you will find in applications such as Facebook, right? In which they're implemented floating around in different places of the interface. This is how it works now for OpenLMS in Boost and in any of the other core themes that we have available. In Snap, though, you know that we have three main areas of focus for Snap. The first one is accessibility, and we are building the most accessible theme on Snap. The second one is the ability to properly work in different devices or the responsiveness of the theme. And the third one is the focus on the learning experiences or the content from the courses. So in Snap, we implemented the chat messaging in the same way that it was implemented in the past. You won't have access to the bar as we have that in Boost or any of the other themes. We'll still focus on the content, so you will have access to the chat via the traditional way that you have done in the past couple of years. You will access the Snapchat interface through your course menu and the messages interface that you see here in the lower right bottom part. So this is still to maintain consistency with the design philosophy of Snap and to allow your learners to really focus on the course content instead of competing for users' attention on the chat or in the course content or any of the other blogs. We have received feedback and we have done research around this in terms of the implementation work. We will be happy to discuss and engage in conversations with you to see if this is something that will accommodate your specific needs or to see if we need to evolve this in a different way. Some of you are already familiar with Record RTC. It is a component that allows you to record audio and video from the interface of Snap or any of the other themes. It is directly available in the rich text editor that you have for content creation in OpenLMS. But now it is also supported in assignment feedback. So your teachers can create audio and video feedback as part of the assignment workflow. This is now supported in OpenLMS. It will be available for you as part of this release. For those of you that are maybe using the clean or more themes, you know that we have been communicating for a couple of years that they were using old technology at some point, Moodle HQ was going to remove support for them. We have communicating at the end of last year that the target date for that removal was Moodle 3.7. So in OpenLMS 3.7, we will also remove clean and more. But we also mentioned that we were reviewing and integrating a new thing that comes from core, which is called Classic. Classic, as you see here in this view, is similar in terms of information architecture, overall look and feel, and color structures and customization options as Clean. It has the same structure. It provides the same user experience, with the difference that this is built in newer technology and is directly supported from Moodle HQ. So we are happy to announce that we have introduced this um, as part of this release, and you will have that available as part of your experimentation or migration process if you are still using Clean and more. Are you guys having issues with the slides? Sorry, I just want to confirm that we. Okay, okay, perfect. Yes, we should be on slide 16. Yes, to confirm, Moodle sorry, OpenLMS is still including Clean and more as part of 3.6 release, but those themes will be removed from the code base on 3.7. So we have this with this inclusion of classic theme, you will also have to test the theme and to start migrating some of the courses. On 3.7, we will automatically move Clean and more to classic as part of the migration process. In terms of accessibility, we have added a new feature for your course creators or for your administrators to check the contrast and to check the accessibility of the titles and text elements that you have in your platform. So as you see here in the example, this checks the accessibility, for example, on the course title and the cover image for your course. It will say if the contrast is not enough for you to assure good readability for your users. And it is also something that will appear in any of the text options or configuration options for text that you have in Snap. It's very useful to make sure that your users can actually read the contents of your page. And this is also part of the commitment that we have with accessibility as part of the user experience in Snap. Something really nice that comes from 3.6 too is the ability to create if statements as part of the gradebook. It provides a lot of flexibility in terms of the options that you have for your grading calculations. So this is new in 3.6, and this allows you to create conditions for your course grades based on the statements that you see here. So in short, it will work providing a result if the a statement of the item one or the first argument is true, and a different result or a different returning value if the condition is not true. So here in the example, we see if a user approves the quiz one with more than 50 points, then the final grade of the course will be quiz one. But if not, then the final grade of the course will be the average of quiz one and quiz two. It is just a quick example of the flexibility that you can gain from these sort of statements, and is now available in the OpenLMS release. Let's talk now about other roadmap elements that are coming further down the road. The first one is HTML support for PLD emails. This is also something that we have heard a lot from the OpenLMS community and from our customer conversations, and it will allow you to personalize a bit more the elements that you send through email to your users. So it will still allow you to insert tokens to replace the names, the last names, the course grades, and other information that comes from the LMS itself. But it will also allow you to customize a bit more the text, the body, the structure of the messages, and add images, for example. So this will go a long way in terms of the communication options and the communication automation that you can add to your courses via PLD. More improvements that we are planning for OpenLMS are related to Conduit. This has two sides of the kind of improvements that we want for this and that we have gathered from the community. The first one is to support cohort enrollment. So we now support course enrollment, user creation, course management, and group management. but we are planning to add cohort enrollment as part of those processes. We have heard that this is um, of much interest to our customers, and it is also very important for those of you that are starting to work with competency-based education, as cohorts allow you to create learning plans and assign those plans to cohorts. So this is something that we're looking forward to implement as part of our progress with Conduit. We also want to provide a better user experience in terms of the usage of Conduit to allow you to know what's happening behind the scenes, right? To see if you are executing a process, how the process is performing, and to have a more informed interface of Conduit execution. Let's move on now to the ecosystem learning environment. Let's start with IntelliWord. So we are updating IntelliWord as part of this release. We have a version that now has new reports and user experience improvements. You know already that this is integrated in the OpenLMS product itself. So you will find access to your reports and the IntelliWord interface from within the product, or you can have access through the external website interface. We wanted to address some important questions related to IntelliWord that we have heard from the community. So the first one is how often we integrate new code for IntelliWord. And you are aware that we update plugins as part of our major release process, which happens twice a year. But for the case of IntelliWord, as we have heard from our customers that this is a very important component for them, we have committed to update IntelliWord for all releases, no matter if they're major or minor. So you will see updates for IntelliWord every major and maintenance pack release, as long as the code approves our quality assurance process. And this is very important to address because some of you were expecting an update for maintenance pack 2. Unfortunately, there were a couple of elements that were not performing and were not complying with our quality assurance process. So we work with IntelliWord directly, and we work very hard to make sure that for this release, those were addressed and those were complying with our quality assurance process. At the end, we understand how frustrating is for you to not have the latest version of IntelliWord available in the product at a given time. But we also want to assure you that you have the best possible experience with the component. That's why we need to make sure that it passes the quality assurance process and that everything that we integrate offers you the best possible SaaS experience. So we'll keep communicating when those upgrades are integrated as part of our release note process, and you will find when the IntelliWord version is available for you to use. The next question is, what happens when I ask for a custom report? When you ask for a custom report, it will be integrated in the next version that we'll review. So those custom reports work by updating the code of IntelliWord. It is not something that happens on IntelliWord side. It needs to happen on the plugin, the Moodle plugin side. So in this regard, what we do is you ask for the report for IntelliWord team. They develop that, they update the code, and then we review that and integrate that for the next version of OpenLMS. So, for example, if you request a custom report in July, then it will be integrated as part of the next release, which will happen in August, and that will be 3.6 Maintenance Pack 1. As long as the code review passes and the process of quality assurance is compliant, then the code will be integrated and you will have access to your new report. The third one that we have also heard and that we wanted to address is, why is X IntelliWord feature not available in OpenLMS? And for this, we can address specific examples, right? The report builder or the visual builder that will be coming in the new version of IntelliWord. The answer is again related to quality assurance and performance. So we have worked from the beginning with the IntelliWord team to make sure that the plugin improves in the way that it handles requests, in the way that it handles responses, and the overall quality assurance for the product. This has worked very well, and we have advanced a lot in both sides to make sure that the plugin performs in the best possible way. There are still things to do in terms of those two specific components, and that's why those won't be available from the start in the OpenLMS release. We will continue to work with them to make sure that we properly test that and that we improve any of the performance issues that they may have, and then we will be able to turn that on for our customers. For now, let's rest assured that we are working on making sure that this has all the quality assurance processes and all the requirements to make sure that you can properly use that in a safe and um, yeah, in a safe way for you and for your end users. As part of our ecosystem, we have also updated Mahara to the latest version. This version includes many new features and includes a lot of new UX improvements. For those of you that are not familiar with Mahara, it is an e-portfolio system. It integrates with OpenLMS and it also has single sign-on across the two platforms. And it will allow you to, for your users, to showcase their results of their learning experiences and to showcase portfolios with those learning experiences. So again, this is available now with a new version and it is already integrated in OpenLMS and it is free of charge for those of you that want to use it. We have been communicating a couple of elements in the past related to Blackboard data, and we wanted to report on progress that we are doing on this. For those of you that are not aware with this tool, this is an interface and a project that we have as Blackboard to really provide you with meaningful insight on the things that are happening across all your strategy elements and your technology elements for your learning experiences. This includes information from Collaborate, from Ally, from OpenLMS, and from all your Blackboard products in a single place. This is a work in progress. This is something that all the products are making commitments in order to move forward with the initiative and to provide you with this type of integrated insight. In OpenLMS, we're very happy to report that we have been capturing events on the OpenLMS platform and that we have successfully reported those into the data warehouse that Blackboard Data is building. So we'll continue with our tests. We are on track with the development process related to this product, and we will be informing more details as we advance with the initiative. One of the goals that we shared past year as part of our strategic intentions for the product was to reduce the cost and the complexity of code reviews. We know that you want to expand your learning environment and that you want to do that in a way that is cost efficient and that makes sure that your investment is protected. So we have been working really close with our quality assurance team and the consulting services team to make sure that we deliver on that. And there are initial results that we are able to communicate and that you can check as part of your intentions to do code reviews. So we have develop a way to do quality assurance that no longer depends on the plugin size. So we have a part of the cost that is related to that specific component of the review process, and is now translating into cost efficiencies for those code reviews. How much? It will depend on the plugin still. It will depend on the complexity of the project. But those are already there. If you want to check, if you want to maybe do a code review or a development of a specific plugin, you can get in contact with us, with your consulting services team, and those cost reductions are going to be reflected as part of this new process. This is a work in progress. This is something that we still want to further improve the cost and time that we do for code reviews. So we will keep updating as we advance with this initiative. We're really committed to this and we are going to keep pushing it forward. Now, in terms of the SaaS experience and delivery, in Trillo 5 Maintenance Pack 2, we have included a new report for you to check how the usage of your platform is performing in terms of active users and registered users. Those are reports that include a visual representation of your usage across different months. And it also provides you with the ability to download that information and to see what's happening with your platform. That's nice, right, to see that information, but it's also very important to take action on those elements, right? So if you want to really keep your platform under the proper usage, you will need the ability to take action on those users or those courses that maybe are not active or that maybe should be cleaned up. That's what we want to bring to the product. We have heard the feedback from our users, and we want to develop ways for you to, for example, filter users that haven't logged in in a specific time period, or courses that hasn't been active in a while. So those elements you will be able to find through the interface and to take action on those. For example, to deactivate those users that are not logging into the platform. This way, you will have more granular control on your SaaS experience, and the overall service experience will also improve in the sense of making sure that you are paying for what you are actually using. We want to provide you with this flexibility, and not only in terms of visibility, but also in terms of control over those users. Now with the same initiative that we have for cost reductions in code reviews, we are also working on improving our quality assurance processes overall. And on the product development side of things, this will mean that we will have more time to work on other features and other plugins in more innovations for the product in a faster way. So we're happy to report that we have bring quality assurance automation to the regression work that we are doing for each version. That we are now doing that, for example, for quizzes. We're moving forward to do that with forums and other components of the platform. And the overall value that this will generate for the customer base is the ability for us to switch our focus into new innovation areas, into new features, instead of devoting time to things that can be automated instead of doing it manually. We're also continuing our work related to real-time auto-scaling. We have made very good progress around this. This is still a 2019 target, and we will be working the rest of the year and make sure that we can bring this to the product. And there's something really cool that we want to share, maybe on a later video, because this provides a lot of new interesting elements into the way that you can experience your service. Is the shift from operations or from development operations to site reliability engineering. This is a practice that organizations such as Google do as part of their operational work. And this allows us and not only to focus on make sure that the service is up and the service works as you expect that, but also that we keep innovating into automating processes, into providing more visibility elements, and bringing more innovation in terms of how we operate the service. So there are specific results and specific components that we want to show you and what this means to you as end users and consumers for OpenLMS. So we'll bring those into a video and some press releases that we are going to do related to this. So in summary, for Trilog 6, which is happening in June and July for production, we are bringing OpenLMS to Trilog 6, full version Trilog 6. We are adding a new PLD event, which is based now on course start date. We are upgrading our community plugin versions to Trilog 6.2. So if you have Collaborate maybe in a separate Moodle instances, that will be also updated. We have not mentioned that here, but we have a lot of new user experience improvements and accessibility improvements. Those are listed as part of the OpenLMS release notes that you have available in Blackboard Help. And some of the other projects and initiatives that we're working on are Blackboard Data, in which we are making very good progress. We keep our commitment in terms of making sure that we automate as much as we can in terms of quality assurance and be as efficient as we could to move forward with our innovation process. We are planning more PLD improvements in terms of adding more flexibility in the email creation action from PLD. So you have now the ability, or you will have the ability to add HTML to those emails. And we'll continue to shift our focus to site reliability engineering and improvement the SaaS experience overall. In terms of schedule, we already applied OpenLMS Trilog 5 Maintenance Pack 2. OpenLMS Trilog 6 is coming June 13 for Sandbox. That will be next week. For production, it will happen on July 11. Maintenance Pack 1 will be in August, and Maintenance Pack 2 will be coming in October. So this is what we wanted to share with you. We are very happy to announce these new features, and we are very excited to see how those will help you in your initiatives. We're always open to any feedback and questions and comments that you have. We would love to hear from you in OpenLMS community. And yeah, we can open the mic here, our or go through the chat to see if you have questions or comments about this.